Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm OJ. I went downtown this morning. I had a perfect spot picked out for today's drawing. Pretty much moments upon arrival, it started raining, and so I had enough time to basically grab a few reference videos, came back and drew from my studio. I had limited time this week to get this drawing done, but since it was raining, you know, Chicago has this nickname Blue Town. Shout out Jesse, one of my favorites. I have a Jordan board right over here on my wall. It's one of the greatest illustrators I've ever witnessed personally. Blue Town, it's kind of a reference to one, the weather, and two, you know, the Chicago blues. I have some blue paper, but the paper that I'm working on is actually much more of a tropical, vibrant Miami blue, more so than a bad rainy weather Chicago blue. All right, gonna rough this out with the black brush pen per usual. A rough horizon line and the layout of this walkway in the foreground. An immaculate view of the city. And to be honest, it's a bit, this is a bit cheating. When you have something this beautiful to draw, the main building here in the center is very unique. It's got an angled diamond shape in the middle. It's actually called the Crane Building. Right here where I'm at is kind of a forgotten pocket of Millennium Park. This is a walkway and it's very heavily traveled, but people don't really chill here. You're actually kind of surrounded by the skyline. People are walking through here a lot just to get to their next destination. You know, this place is surrounded by major Chicago landmarks, i.e. the Bean, Crown Fountain, Pritzker Pavilion, with the web of sound over top of the lawn and an immaculate structure surrounding the stage that has always kind of reminded me of a samurai helmet. Merely steps away from the Art Institute, half a block away from Michigan Avenue, all the magic of Grant Park, parks of downtown Chicago. This is an incredible place. It's very touristy, but rightfully so. It's simply amazing over here. After the buildings and the skyline are kind of roughed in here, I'm going to bring in the white and we're going to pretend like this is a beautiful, beautiful late spring, early summer day. Anyways, I'm going to have the sun coming from the right edge of this image, kind of reflecting over downtown, just show you where the sun is at and where the light is coming from. Once the lightness of the sky is kind of blocked in, you got some directional streaks. I'm going to bring the black brush pen back in and start to fill in some darks and get the shady side of each of these buildings filled in quick. That way this thing starts to develop some depth. This is meant to be a path. It's not a sidewalk. It has some light reflecting off of it, and I want to bring some good white down in the bottom to just balance out some of the color and the reflections, show that that's a flat surface and not a vertical surface. At this point, I got the layout in, I got a lot of white highlights in, and I got a lot of black lowlights in. The whole image is pretty much blocked out, and so moving forward, it's pretty much just highlights and detailing. Over here on the right, I'm going to be adding highlights on the edges of these buildings. There's a lot of small details in here, and so they're going to start to blend together, and you got to be really selective about the things that you pull out and the things that you just let fall back and kind of absorb together. A lot of these buildings actually will have no windows even represented in them at all, because, you know, they're so massive and they are in the distance. The details that I will do is going to be in the foreground. You know, over here in the bottom right corner is actually a rock that I was sitting on, and, you know, it's got a lot of imperfections and whatnot. You'll be able to see those in there because it's the closest to us as a viewer. Something that is really key to making this image work is adding these flowers and small plants up in the foreground here, and I'm just going to do that with the white, go right over top. None of these got to be perfect, none of it got to be exact. It's roughing these shapes out so that they read as flowers. I did decide I'm going to add a couple windows, a couple details as far as windows, but really the building that's going to feel like it has the most details, of course, is the Crane Building right there in the center. It is the most uniquely shaped building in this image, and it's kind of the central focal point. I'm going to be using the white to basically add these window stripes in there, and you'll be able to see that it's a tall building that we're actually looking up at. Beyond that, I'm not going to add a ton more. I'm pretty much at a good stopping point. I love the way it turned out. I've been wanting to draw this one for a long time. The Millennium Park Forgotten Pocket Path. These drawings are supposed to be on-site drawings, turned out to be a rain out. And so here we are in the studio, drawing in the dark off of reference videos. I'm OJ, Juice Loops Live. Come back next Thursday. Thanks as always. Peace. Chi-Town. Chi-Town, my town.